But first thing I wanted to talk about is I want to break down Deontay Wilder's top 5 knockouts of all time. Hey, Fury's a knockout artist too. He's got a good knockout career, but Deontay Wilder's a different cat when it comes to knockouts. His knockouts are the type that are highlight reel knockouts. So let's take a look at those top 5 knockouts. Number 5, I've got Luis Ortiz 2 fight with Deontay Wilder. Wilder had problems with Luis Ortiz in the first fight. The second fight, it took him a little while to get cooking in that one as well. However, once he found his mojo, it was bad for Luis Ortiz. Wilder proved, all I need is that one punch. He was down on the scorecards. He wasn't winning the fight. And then boom, that right hand knocked Luis Ortiz senseless. He was flat on the ground, couldn't get his senses, didn't really beat the count, or at least when he got up to his feet, he was in no condition to continue fighting. It was over. One punch does it when you're Deontay Wilder, and Luis Ortiz felt that. One punch with the right hand, there you go. Number 4, Deontay Wilder versus Sergey LIAKHOVICH. That was a scary knockout. If you guys don't remember this one, again, it was a Wilder right hand, more to the side of the head, if I remember correctly. There was no getting up for Sergey LIAKHOVICH. When he went down, he was so out of it that he was like running, like in his sleep. It was a scary sight. You had to wonder about his condition. Whenever you see a fighter moving uncontrollably, you think seizure. Fortunately, that wasn't the case. It was just a really bad reaction to the knockout. His body was still trying to react, but his senses were gone. There was no way he was going to continue fighting. And that was a round 1 knockout. That was all the way back in 2013. Number 3, best knockout of Deontay Wilder's career. I've got Deontay Wilder versus STIVERNE 2. The first fight went the distance. Deontay Wilder also broke his right hand in that fight early on. I want to say in round 3 or 4. He couldn't use that right hand anymore. Whoa. The second time was a different story. STIVERNE never made it out of the first round. He was down 3 times, and each one looked bad. He was complaining about a punch to the back of his head. Everything was landing cleanly on the front of his face. Deontay Wilder smelled blood in the water, jumped all over him, landed a flurry of punches, hit him to the side of the head. That was it. STIVERNE looked like an accordion, crumpled back on himself, became a meme, but it was a nasty knockout. My favorite part of that was when referee Mercanti Jr. has to jump on his back, and you just see him, trying to calm Wilder down, but he was so amped up that there wasn't a whole lot that he could do to hold Wilder back. I felt bad for Arthur Mercanti Jr. Wilder was actually in danger of getting disqualified, even though he knocked his opponent out cold, but he calmed down. Knockout was clean, over. STIVERNE's never been right since the first Wilder fight. That second one didn't help. Number 2 best knockout of Deontay Wilder's career came against DOMINIC BREAZEALE. Again, another first round knockout. BREAZEALE and Wilder had a lot of harsh words for each other. Wilder backed it up, thumped BREAZEALE with that right hand once again. One shot, he flopped to the ground and he was out. He actually regained his senses and tried to make it back up. But when you get punched like that, there is no making it back up. And it was as violent a fall that you're going to see from a fighter after getting knocked out. And finally, number 1 best knockout of Deontay Wilder's career, I would have to say that came in 2016 against ARTUR SZPILKA. SZPILKA was boxing well. Southpaw was really looking good in the fight. And round 9, he tried to jump in. Deontay Wilder timed him perfectly, gave that short right to his jaw. The momentum of SZPILKA coming forward, the power of Deontay Wilder's fist colliding with his jaw. SZPILKA, not the biggest heavyweight, but it's still a big, solid dude, spun around like a top, flat against the canvas, unconscious. Deontay Wilder said it numerous times. He thought he killed ARTUR SZPILKA, and for a second it looked like it. Thankfully, SZPILKA was okay. Again, never really recovered from that fight. Hasn't gone on to great things since. And you have to wonder, is Deontay Wilder's right hand so brutal, not just because of how violently it knocks people out, but also because of the damage that it does to a fighter after the fact? Because so far, none of their careers have really gone on to do anything. Now, with all that being said, Deontay Wilder's round 12 knockdown of Fury could have been on this list, but Fury's abilities to recover kept him from getting put on that list. That fight finished to the draw. That was the first time around, and of course, Deontay looked bad the second time around. With all that being said, those are the top 5 knockouts of Deontay Wilder's career. Will he put Fury on that list the third time around? Who knows? You have to watch on October 9th on Fox and ESPN pay-per-view. I will be at the fight. Follow along with me. I can't wait. I'll be getting that in late Friday night. So all my coverage is really going to be coming Saturday, but check it out. I'm excited about it. If you're going to be in Vegas, hit me up. Leave me a comment below. Hey, I like to have a good time in Vegas. Always looking for new friends. Hit me up. All right. So that's what we got there.